All right. A lot of good work out there. To me, I think to kind of sum it up, it was a day of almost. So I just kind of challenged the group. I was like, are we going to be almost good? Or are we going to make the plays when they're there to be made? 1 for 10 on third down. JT Sanders misses a ball. Bryce, hit him right in stride on. We got a double move. T Mac's probably going to score a touchdown. We didn't block Daniil Hunter on the right. Hit Andy in the elbow. Speaking of which, took him out. Looks like an elbow sprain. We'll image it tomorrow, so I don't really have the details of all that. He was moving it around fine. He said he feels fine, but we got to take a look and see what happens there. And then Jack Plummer, 2 interceptions, on third down. So that makes it a really difficult day. Gave them 7 points down there where we threw that 1 interception. And all in all, just kind of looking play to play, I'm excited about our group. I'm excited about the talent that we have out there, but can we play together and can we make it come alive? And we didn't do that to our standard and to my standard today.
Dave, coming into today, you said you play the stars 3 series.
Yeah.
What was behind your decision to only play them two?
I just wanted them to go out and earn another series, and I just really felt like, with giving them 2 shots to do it and it not coming up, I wasn't going to just put them back out there to kind of say, hey, let's just play some more football. That kind of paired with we got great work 2 days ago. And I just kind of looked at it that way. I felt like, the work we got against the Texans in the practice was good enough for me to kind of look at that and wanted them to get the prep and get ready for the game, get out there and get a couple of series. But that's kind of what was behind it.
Coach, Bryce is heading into his third NFL season. He's more experienced now in the game. What are some areas that of growth that you've seen in Bryce Young, or maybe some areas that may need improvement?
I just love Bryce to just continue to be a consistent leader for his team, operating the systems. He's been just on time. He's been, making our practices come alive really and allowing us to dig deeper into the playbook.
Any update on Carter? Carter went back.
Yeah, he came back in, finished the game. So I think he just kind of got rolled up on. I'm not sure if it was an ankle or knee, but he was able to return, so we got him back out there.
We haven't seen Cam Jackson. He's been working off to the side for
Yeah.
a while. What's the latest on him, and then what's the update on Nick Scorton?
Yeah, for Cam, so something in his shoulder. So really, the goal is to try to make sure that he's stable and has his strength back. He's heading that direction. So I'm hopeful that he'll play, that he'll practice this week for the Steelers. But again, he's got to be able to prove and show us that he's got the strength back in the shoulder. And then who else did you ask about?
Scorton, just from the Heat.
Yeah. So I didn't tell you guys. So Scorton suffered a collapsed lung. It was a very physical play. It was presenting like heat exhaustion, because he was having trouble breathing. He was getting tired and all that. So we kind of cooled him down. We couldn't get him to respond good enough to where we felt comfortable about putting him back into practice. So I really tribute, Denny and the training staff for just kind of evaluating where he was at and saying this is not a guy that needs to return to practice today. And then, the symptoms kind of grew after practice, and then we had checked him into the hospital, and then that's where they kind of told us what was happening. The symptoms all say this is what it was. So Scorton was driving home. He's on his way back. I think he might have made it back yesterday. He left yesterday. So he'll be back in Charlotte. We'll keep evaluating him. And I don't really know a timeline. It's really week to week with those types of things. I've heard from the trainers and from different coaches who have been around this where a guy played the next week. But, so we got to be smart with that one. And I'll let you know where we're at once we get back to Charlotte.
From that standpoint, this all kind of came out over the last few days, and you've been been able to kind of reiterate to the team what's going on, and are they all aware of what's happening?
They are all aware, yes.
Looks like Princely Umon-Milan had some really good reps against the run today. I know he's known more as a pass rusher,
Yeah.
But what did you see from him when he played in the second half?
Yeah, just weekly growth, daily growth. I think with young players, they make their biggest strides. Like their growth curve is so huge, early on. The style of play that we're looking for, the techniques that we're asking for, and that's what I've just seen from the group in general, but for sure with Princely, just wanting to be a complete player, and knowing that potential is out there for him to be, to establish that physicality against the run and then still give us the pass rush that we know he has.
And then with the ETN broke off 2 pretty huge runs,
Yeah.
and then got holding penalties.
Yes.
What did you see And,
Yeah.
And also as a returner.
Yeah, and in the pass game, vision, patience, good control of the ball, and I think one of the returns he slips on the turf. He's cutting it back to avoid. Really, two of the returns kind of played out very similar. He set it up properly. The blocking was really good to get him through that first wave, and he kind of lost himself there. But in the run game, it was patience, it was vision, it was the burst that we saw. And as he gets more and more comfortable with our different run styles, he really showed some good things today.
Kingston played center with Cade playing left guard
Yeah.
most of the game. What made you decide to move him inside, and how did he look just from, I know you haven't looked at the tape, but just from your immediate viewing?
Yeah, I mean, immediately it was just, it was good snaps, getting our runs ID'd. I think we might have missed one ID. They left base out there a couple times against 11 personnel. It gets a little bit tricky with where you ID the run and do all that. So, but besides that, it was a pretty clean day for him. For us, just kind of evaluating guys. The more you can do, the better odds you have to make our team. And so to see, how he was going to operate at center. We looked at Cade at guard. He had a really good week. Came out and played next to Austin and Icky, on the left side, with where we're at with D. Lou and Chandler. So I thought Cade did a really good job too.
Did Scorton drive back because it's not safe on the fly?
Yes, it's a precautionary deal with. I just learned about it. So they said, when you have that type of a chest injury, the cabin pressure, the elevation, and all that can present issues. And so the best course of action was to get him in a car, drive him back to Charlotte, and continue his treatment there.
Derek wasn't out there very long.
Yeah.
What did it mean to just get him out there with the group again?
Oh, he was begging me. It wasn't my intention to play Derek, I'll be honest. And he was like, Coach, I just got to get out there. I got to get my hands on somebody. And he was, wearing Coach Washout too. And I just love the fact he wanted to be out there with his guys. He wanted to be able to, see game speed, be able to get his hands on something and knock something back. And so I was really excited to see Derek back out there.
How do you balance, I guess, wanting to win and be competitive in
Yeah.
a preseason game, but also having the outcome that you had today and last week?
I think the cool part for me is it allows us to coach our guys hard on the fundamentals of football, which is the reason why we come away with 3 points, which is the reason why, teams are sustaining drives, different things like that. It's like it comes down to the basics. It comes down to playing your leverage, knowing your assignment, and then finishing the play. Who's going to make the plays for us? That's what we want to know, and we've seen guys do it, consistently and then inconsistently when we get into our game settings. And so it just allows me to challenge them. Like, we're trying to win all these games, with whatever group goes out there. That's the goal. And to not be able to get that done, it's frustrating, and, how far do we read into it? Not very far. This is this game. We got a week of work in front of us. We have 2 really important practices before we go into Pittsburgh. The starters will not play this upcoming week, and so those practices really become so valuable because it's the last time we have this whole group together, and we're able to get the intensities that we want going into the season. I feel great about our conditioning level. I feel great about the physicality of the play. I don't feel great about our execution of the basics because it's not showing up consistently for us, and there's flashes. I'm excited about our guys. I'm excited about our people, but that's where leadership comes in, and when are we going to take those steps to count on each other and to be able to make those plays when they're available.
Thank you, Coach. You got to get the locker room before the guys start taking off.
All right. Thank you.